Yeah.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So we are going to be starting with blogging, right? That's basically today's class, right? And with blogging, I'm just going to be explaining the important things we need in setting up an account and writing blogs. I get what I'm saying. Basically the beginning of everything is when you write blogs, where do you write these blogs? Right? There are different kind of platforms. I get what I'm saying. There are different kind of blogging platforms that are available to you, right? And these platforms, some of them can be monetized, meaning that they can pay you to write on their platform, right? Also, you can decide to say, okay, you want to create a whole blogging platform, right, on your own without the support of any of these other platforms, right? People do it, right? For instance, if you check DigitalOcean, they have their own blogging platform. I get what I'm saying. If you check Code Cloud also, they have their own blogging platform. But now the problem is this: if you create a blogging platform of your own and you want to start writing blogs on that your platform, right? There's going to be an issue because now you don't have traffic coming in. There are people don't really know who you are, right? You're not running ads. You're not um, giving any service, right? So people don't really know who you are, meaning that your blog won't get any likes, it won't get any views, or it won't get any support, right? And that's a very, very, very bad idea. So if you're starting out in blogging, the most important thing is to find a platform that will help you achieve your success or your goal, or help you reach a particular point that you want to reach, right? Before you can say, okay, you want to now create your own personal blogging platform. I guess what I'm saying. And all these sites, there are a lot of sites, right, to use for your blogging, right? There is a Medium, right? There's medium.com, there's Hashnode, right? There's Hashnode. There's also others. I'm guessing DevRel or something like that. Okay, okay. There's one other blogging platform that starts with something. Yeah, Dev Community also, right? These are blogging platforms where you can post your blogs. I get what I'm saying. But out of these three, the one I would recommend for anybody that wants to start writing blogs would be Medium, right? This is basically the one I would recommend for anybody that wants to start writing blogs because number one, Medium pays you, right? If you get to a certain level, they start paying you for the blog you write, right? And for some people, that will be very, very important, right? So let's just clear out all these other platforms. You can also still be posting your blogs on all these other platforms, right? You can be posting your blogs on all these other platforms, which will give you more, more people will be able to access your content, and more people will be able to know who you are, right? Because that's still the end goal. The reason why you're writing blog is for you to come out, right? For you to show people your skills, right? So let's basically cancel this other two, right? And Medium, right? When you first go to Medium, you need to create an account, right? You need to create an account, and after creating an account, you need to set up your account. All those steps are very, very, very simple, right? And when you create an account, this is basically the default homepage you're going to see, right? And here are some um some other people's blogs that are being written. So now you can see that it is actually going to be helping you. The algorithm on Medium is going to be helping you push your blog, right? Depending on how many people interact with it, right? Are you get what I'm saying? And depending on the keywords you use. So all these also, these are other people's blog on the left hand side, right? And um up here you see a pen that also helps you if you want to write, right? So if you click on this, it takes you to a new story, right? This is where you can generate a new story, which will soon get to this point, right? You can generate a new story with a title. You can then tell your story, right? By writing every single thing your blog needs, right? And also up here, there is a bell, right? This bell is basically for notifications that you're going to be getting, right? If someone likes your post, if someone reacts to your post, if someone claps or comments on your post, right? So this is basically where you're going to see everything. And here on the profile section, when I click on it, you can see the profile, right? And if I click on the profile, this is where you can now see your personal content, right? For instance, the blogs you have written, right? The blogs you have written, all the whole blogs you have written, your list, right? A list is basically like saving, let's say like a bookmark, right? Saving other people's content. Um, on your medium list, right? So it's basically like saving other people's content. You see a content, you like it and you want to save it. So basically you just click here, right? And it will be added to your list, right? And all here you can see all the whole blog that you have written. Yeah. And on the right hand side, you can also see your about, right? A cloud engineer, I love sharing easy solutions to problems that I found difficult, right? Interested in open source, right? And also here's my Twitter handle, right? So if you are basically writing this, it needs to be something that's very, very simple, right? Something that is simple, something that shows what you do, right? And tells people what you do, because you can't just put anything here, right? You need to put something that actually shows what you do. And it's not a must, you must add your Twitter handle here, but in some cases, if you are going to be active on Twitter, then yes, it's going to be actually helpful if you actually had your Twitter handle here, right? And if you look here, you can also still edit your profile, right? You can edit your profile here, and you can see you can change the name, you can also change the bio, right? You can also add your photo, your profile photo. If you have a picture of yourself, you can just basically put it there. So let's go back. So that's basically all about the profile, right? And here you can see the home, which is where you see all your blogs you have written. You can see the list, right? Which is where you see all your saved tags or all your saved blogs written by other people, right? And for the about, you can basically write a small about, right? Anything that is about you can just write it and just leave it here, right? So and here you can see connect to me, right? Because I added my Twitter link, you can still see the Twitter bed here. So basically if you click on this, you'll be basically going to my Twitter page. So moving back, another thing is you can also find or go to Canva to create what's it called, a an image, right? You can create an image, right? They will basically give you a size you should use. That's when you're setting up your account. They will give you a size you should use. You can go to Canvas and input that size, right, into Canva, and you can generate like a graphical a a design or a logo, right, that is relating to you. Because most important thing is you want to get attention, you want to get people's attention. If someone comes to this page and just sees the same blank, right, it's not going to make any sense. And that's another important thing that we will get to, right? If you look at every single blog post here, you can see each and every one of them has an image, right? They all have an image, right? It's not just something that's blank, because now you need to get people's attention. If someone comes to your blog page, they want to be able to see it and know that okay, this person is actually passing out a message. Are you getting what I'm saying? Rather than just it being blank, right? So coming back here, we've looked at the profile. Now we're going to look at the library, right? Exactly. The library is still the same thing. You can basically organize and save other people's blog, right? Into different categories. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I can create a category, name the category Terraform, and save any Terraform blog I see in this particular category, right? So I can just click here, new list. I can give the list whatever name I want to give it, right? I can either make it private or I can just let it be public, right? But all these are not really important like that, right? The most important thing is to know how to write a blog, right? And we're getting there very soon. And the next one is your stories, right? So in your stories, this is where you can see draft of stories you have written or stories you're writing, right? So for instance, this is a story that I created 2 months ago, right? And I haven't actually published it yet, but this is just the beginning of the story. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you can just leave it as a draft, and this is where you're going to see it. And you can also see all the stories you have published, right? Where you can still come in and edit one or two things. You can also see the response. You can also see the response from other people, right? And you can also write a story. So if you want to write a story, you can just click here, right? It automatically takes you to write a story. You can click here or click here. Either one works, right? So after the story section, you can now move to the stats. The stats is basically where you see all your statistics, right? How many views you are getting, how your content is doing, and how everything is working, right? So that's basically the stats. So you can basically see here that today I had only 30 views on my was he blog, right? On my whole blog, I had only 30 people viewing this, and this is very important when you are trying to convert your blogging to start making money for you, right? Um, like for instance, here I have like 137 views, right? There's a way Medium will help you calculate it, right? In such a way that when people view your page, they pay you, right? So when they view it, they pay you. So it's either the longer the blog, right, the more money you can get. But that is not really advisable. I get what I'm saying. It's not really advisable for your blog to be so long, right? Because it does not make any sense. Nobody wants to sit down to read a very long blog. I get what I'm saying. Nobody has that time. Only if it's something in demand, right? And we'll get to all these things very soon. So yeah, you can see your statistics, right? You can see how each blog you have written is doing, right? So, for instance, this is one blog, Master the Art of Writing English Rules, right? And it has 65 claps and 0 responses, right? Scrolling down, you can still see a whole lot more, right? There are a whole lot of statistics. So, if I click on this one here, right? You can see the heading, the image, right? You can also see the reads. 40 people have read this, right? And 110 views. And here are some other more important statistics that you can also look at, right? And this, like I said, this will be very important if you want to start converting your blogs into money, right? Because you need to know what kind of blogs work, right? What kind of blogs people are interested in, right? And you need to create more of those kind of blogs. So let's go back, okay? Now, if you look at this blog, you can see it had about 2.9 thousand like reads. If I was to convert this, right, to money, right, if I was actually using this account to make money, I would have gotten a very good amount of money, right? Because it had about 4.5k views and 2.9 thousand reads, right? This is one of the blogs I've written, right, that have done really well. I get what I'm saying. And you can see your readers' interests: programming, technology, software engineering, JavaScript, data science, artificial intelligence, right? So you can just use this to, when you write a blog, you can use this to just check the statistics of whatever it is you are doing. So coming back here, you can also check the audience statistics also, right? You can see how your audience is growing, right? Email subscribers 65 and 227 followers, right? You can see the monthly growth, how people are joining your audience list and everything. Yeah, and also at the top right corner, you can see the partner program in it, right? So if you want to start converting everything to money, there is an amount there is a limit, right? There is practically a goal you need to reach before you can start saying, okay, I want to start converting my blogs to money, right? And if you see here, okay, so there's basically a goal you need to reach. Number one, you need to have about over 100 followers. I get what I'm saying. That's number one. That's the most important one you need to look out for. You need to have over 100 followers before you can say you want to convert your blogs to start making money for you, right? So we'll still get into that, right? And also you can upgrade, right? So basically, this is how the money is made, right? This is basically how the money is made. So before you can even say you want to join it, you need to be part of the premium um, you see their premium service, right? Where you, because how Medium works is this: there are some blogs that you cannot read. I get what I'm saying. It's only available for members, right? People that have paid the membership fee, and the membership fee is around $4.99 monthly, right? And you need to be part of this membership before you can start making money on Medium. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there are some blogs that you can't read, and when you're on the membership offer, right? You can read these blogs, and while you read these blogs, Medium will be paying the person that wrote the blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's just another thing. That's another thing you need to look out for before you say you want to start joining the Medium program where you can start making money, right? So coming back to our stats, let's now scroll down. Let's go to our setting, right? Let's look at what's in the setting. And right here we have our account. You can change your email address, you can change your username and subdomain, right? For instance, what this means is that if I go to my profile, this is what people can search for to look for my account, right? So if you see medium.com at cloud.g, right, you can basically change whatever you want the domain to be, right? And your profile information, you can, where you can change your profile photo, name, and your bio, right? And your profile design, all these things, you can just navigate through everything, right? If you want to deactivate the account, this is where you can deactivate the account. You can also delete your account, right? You can block some users from viewing your Medium posts, right? And publishing, this is everything about your publishing, right? So if you have some Medium publications, right, that reach out to you to say, okay, come and write for us, right? You can also have them here, right? For instance, I have like about three Medium publishers that have reached out to me to say, okay, what's up? Come and write for us, right? So this is where you can see it. And here, these are just simple things, right? And for email subscription, basically people that subscribe to your email, right? You can share your subscription page, right? So more people can subscribe. You can also import your email subscribers in case you want to use it for email marketing or something like that, right? So that's basically that. And for notifications, right? You can get notifications from writers that subscribe to, right? You can get notifications from stories added to your list, right? And for writers, you can allow people that are subscribed to your medium, or people that are following you, get a notification every time you publish a blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's basically the important things on notification. And if you want to become a member, right, you can basically click on this link, right, and you'll be taken to the membership dashboard, right? So this is basically it. Okay, so they've actually changed the price. It is $5 per month, right? It's $5 per month, and basically this is all you get: no ads, listen to any story, support quality writing, access on any device, read offline with the Medium app, create your own publications, and Mastodon accounts, right? So this is basically all you get for the monthly subscription, right? And annually, $50 per year, right? So that's that. And for the security and app, you can also link your Twitter account, right? You can link your Twitter account, you can link your Google account, you can link your Facebook account, right? And basically that should be all. That should be all. And here you can see some helpful articles that can also help you navigate through everything. Like, for instance, your profile page, right? This is an article that teaches you, okay, about your profile page, how to change certain things in your profile page, right? So you can just read through this, right? And now we can now move to yeah, so basically all this is simple. You can give the membership to a Medium user, right? You can apply for the partner program here. You can also do an auto verification, right? And other things. You can become a Medium member. You can manage publications. You can refine recommendations, and there's also a help center here, right? So now let's now look at the most important thing here, which is the blogs, right? How do you write a blog, right? So now I'm going to be showing you from what I have written before and my previous blogs, the important steps and the important sections you will need, right, while creating a blog. And I will always like to say this: your blog must always face one particular problem. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are basically, there can be two different kind of writers, in my opinion, right? The way I see it, there can be two different kind of writers, right? Number one, there is a writer that always brings solution, right? Always brings technical solution, right? So it's basically the technical part of it, right? So for instance, in my own case, I would say I'm more of like a technical writer, right? Because I basically bring solutions to problems that people are having issues with, right? For instance, unleash the power of Kubernetes with Terraform, right? So this is basically a task that somebody can come or get or pass by, right? So basically, this is a hand-coded task, right? Where I show you step by step how to write certain code or certain tools, right? Using certain other tools, right? To achieve a particular goal. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there's a technical writer, right? Which is something like this, right? Where we solve particular problems, other people's problem, right? Through technical ways, right? And there's like a fundamental writer, right? And that one is basically, let's say, a little bit different, right? because fundamental writer is a kind of writer that can say, okay, um, they don't basically write solutions to things, right? But they just okay, let me see if I can find someone's page. Okay, now for instance, this is an example of a this is one of the Medium posts that you see that is actually you need to pay before you can read it, right? You need to upgrade, and this is how this person is making money on her Medium post, right? So before you can read it to the end, you need to make payments for it, right? So that's just basically that. Okay, let's see another okay, so this person is also still a technical writer because it's showing you a very detailed explanation of how everything is created. So let's see if we can find someone else. Exactly. For instance, now this is an example of a fundamental writer, right? He's basically showing you and teaching you in a written form, right? Rather than in a practical form, right? So this is just a very good example, right? He's explaining it in a way that he thinks you would understand. I get what I'm saying. He's explaining it in a way that you think you understand, right? By writing out certain things, right? Without using any um, solution based example, right? Or article. I get what I'm saying. He's just writing, he's just a writer, he's just putting out his mind there, right? He's just trying to explain a certain thing to you so you can understand it. Now you can mix these two together, right? Being a fundamental and technical writer, you can mix the both of them together, right? But it just depends on you, right? So this is a very, very good example, right? Explaining in details, right? Everything. So for instance, if you want to talk about a topic now, like let's say um, Linux, right? You want to talk about the topics in Linux, right? And you pick a topic like file management, right? You pick a topic like file management. You can just do something like this, right? And explain deeply what file management is all about. You can write out certain commands, right, that can help the person navigate between certain files, right, and either change modification, create new directories, and all those kind of things, right? So that's another example, right? Also trying to explain in a way the person will understand, right? But naturally, there are some tools, right, where you wouldn't need to do that, right? For instance, Kubernetes, right? If you are writing Terraform or Kubernetes, it is more better for you to go with technical way, right? Honestly, you will know when to write in a technical way and when to write in a fundamental way. Are you getting what I'm saying? So just know that basically there are two types of ways you can just put things out there, right? You can either give solution to a particular problem, right, which is what I'm doing here, right? Or you can write on a particular topic. Like this person is writing on pods and controllers, right? You can just write on a particular topic and put out your knowledge out there. And now, this is another important thing. When you're writing on a particular topic, be it fundamental or technical, right? What I will advise you is this: do not just go to Google, right, and just copy and paste. Are you getting what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't go to Google and just copy and paste because once you do that, and if people find out that you're just copying and pasting it, then the amount of views you'll be getting and the amount of likes and response you'll be getting will be very, very low. right? It's going to be very, very low. So it's not a good idea. The reason for you writing a blog is for you to write it in a way that you understand. Are you getting
That's
what I'm
called
saying?
plagiarism.
Yeah, it's for you to write it in a way that you understand, right? Very, very important. So that's that about that. And now we're going to be moving into the sections, right? When you want to write a blog, we're going to be moving deep into sections when you want to write a blog. Different people have different ways of writing, right? I'm going to teach you a very important way of writing. And honestly, there is no one way you can learn it. Are you getting what I'm saying? Writing a blog is something that you just find. The way you write, the way you structure your writing, all depends on the kind of person you are. Are you getting what I'm saying? It all depends on who you are. For instance, look at this person, right? He puts a topic here, pods and notes, and scrolling down, he also uses images to explain his work. Are you getting what I'm saying? He uses images to explain his work, right? And he explains deeply into whatever it is he's doing. Are you getting what I'm saying? And he's also setting out links, right, that take you to other either other of his blogs or other resources out there where you can learn more about this, right? So there are different kind of writers. It just depends on your kind of person, right? But the main important thing I'm going to be teaching you, I'll just teach you the main concept. Then you can now go out there and find what kind of writer you are, right? How you want to be writing, what fits you, what matches your style. Are you getting what I'm saying? So coming back here, like I said, you need an image, right? You need an image. It's very, very important, right? Because the most important thing is when somebody sees your blog, right? The first thing that catches their attention is the image you have here, right? That's the most important thing, is the image you have here, right? When someone sees your blog, the first thing that catches their attention is the image, right? The image. They want to say, okay, what is here? What is in this? What did he put here, right? And if they open it, boom, they've seen the image, they are in your blog post, everything, and they start reading, right? And we'll basically now move to the heading part, right? But before we do that, let's talk about the image. The image you use needs to be relating to whatever it is you are talking about, right? It needs to be relating with whatever it is you're talking about. Now, I'll show you an example, right? That I just used a particular image to just so for now, for instance, this person is talking about SSL, right? SSL is basically like a security certification, right? And for security, everybody knows what SSL is. So what does the person think of? A padlock, right? Which shows sign of security. But it's not just a padlock, a normal padlock. There's still some graphic design around it. Are you getting what I'm saying? So make it look attractive, right? And let it still flow with the idea of what you're writing, right? And if you look here, this is a very good example. And now I said, okay, the fastest way to install Terraform, Helm, Jenkins, AWS CLI, and kubectl. And in the picture here, I have Flash, right? Which shows that this method is actually very fast because everybody in their normal mind feels that Flash is the fastest, whatever, superhero, blah, 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 movie or whatever, right? So you just need to flow with the concept, right? It's just about who you are and what you want to put out there. Are you getting what I'm saying? And that's that about the image, right? You have your image, very important, right? And the reason why I use this image because this was the image that was for this application, this microservice, right? This stockshop microservice, right? And next thing we're going to be looking at is your heading, right? That's the next important thing we're looking at, right? So how do you write your heading, right? You don't want the heading to just be something that's just plain because that's not going to make any sense at all. We don't want the heading to be something that's just plain. So if you come here to the home page and we look at some other people's heading, right? You can see Dockerize Python app and deploy to Minikube, right? It basically has like a main target, right? It has like an action in it, right? Minikube Marvels, right? A journey into local Kubernetes excellence. Although the heading is good, right? But honestly, if I'm basically scrolling through this, the only thing that will drag me into this post is the image. So you see another reason why the image is very, very, very important, right? Another one is using Terraform to launch an S3 bucket and EC2 instance with Jenkins. This is also very good, right? You can write blogs on how to, right? How to use Terraform to launch an S3 bucket, right? And EC2 instance with Jenkins, right? So because of this is just a very plain a very plain environment, right? The cloud engineering space, right? Or the tech space is very plain. And once somebody sees something like this, automatically the person will click it. If the person is interested in learning how to use Terraform to launch S3 buckets and EC2 instances with Jenkins, right? The person will automatically click it, right? Well, that is that, right? But you also want to start creating headings that will actually drag people's attention, right? For instance, unleash the power of Kubernetes with Terraform, right? Someone says this, unleash the power of Kubernetes with Terraform. The first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, right? Unleash the power of Kubernetes, right? That means learn more with Kubernetes using Terraform, right? And after that, you now deploy the Sockshop microservice like a pro, right? All these are just how do I explain this? All these are just SEO, right? SEO and some kind of marketing psychology that is basically with it. I'm going to be teaching you guys exactly how to write headings like this, right? And other helpful headings, right? So there's an AI for those that are not really good in writing headings or in copywriting, right? This is going to be a very, very good tool for you to use, right? So there's an AI, right? And this AI basically just help you generate nice headings, right? And it also has SEO and clickbait features, right? So you can just turn this on. Okay, so it says impute what's in your mind. Let's say I want to write an article on using Ansible to deploy Laravel, right? I want to write an article like this. I'm just going to write the what the article is all about, and I'm going to click on this button, right? And basically, it is going to generate using SEO, right? And clickbait features, right? Meaning that attractive features, right? It's going to generate a whole lot of headings for me, right? Although it's been long since I've used this AI generator, but let's see if it still works. Okay, powered by OpenAI. Okay, so now we have some ideas generated for us, right? Using Ansible to deploy Laravel, right? Streamlining Laravel deployment with Ansible, a step-by-step guide. Obviously, if someone sees this as a heading, nobody will want to click on the bit. Only people that need it on demand, someone that wants to deploy with Ansible with Laravel, right? We want to just click on it because he needs the knowledge, right? But what if someone is just scrolling on Medium and sees your blog, right? We want them to be able to click it. And this is also good, right? But let me now add this extra feature and let's see what it's going to generate for us. Okay, so it's basically generated the same thing, right? Simplify your Laravel deployment process with Ansible automation. right? So let me see how I can change this, right? So let's see how to deploy Laravel and LAMP stack using Ansible, right? So let's try this out. Seems like this call has only 9 minutes left. Okay, so let me now try to until this. Okay, so let me try this using an incognito window, because I don't know why it's taking this long. Okay, so while this is still generating, it doesn't take this long. I don't know what's wrong the with the website, right? So while this is still generating, let's move to something else, right? Now we want to move to the beginning of you writing a blog, right? Which is the most important, um, the most important phase, right? Because now, since you have gotten the attention with your heading and with your image that you have here, right? You now want to keep their attention because it's very important, right? Some people will just come here and automatically just start talking about something else. Are you getting what I'm saying? Basically, what you want to do once you have gotten their attention and once they're already in your blog post, right? You want to keep their attention, right? You want to keep the attention. For instance, I say, hey, welcome once more, right? In this section, we are going to be deploying the social application with Kubernetes using Terraform, right? For this is going to differ if you are a fundamental writer, right? Because of I'm a technical writer, talking too much is not going to help. I get what I'm talking about. It's not going to help at all because the most important reason, the reason why they are here, right, is to learn, right, or unleash the power of Kubernetes with Terraform, right? And they also want to learn how to deploy Shop microservice like a pro. That's the reason why they are here. And if I come here and I start talking about, oh, I start talking about what Kubernetes is and how to use Kubernetes or how to use Terraform, then that's not the point of this blog anymore. Like I said, your blog should focus on one purpose, right? And the purpose of this blog is to deploy the Sockshop application, right? Microservice like a pro using Kubernetes and Terraform. That's the main purpose of this blog, right? So after this, right, we'll be deploying the Sockshop application with Kubernetes and Terraform, right? We are going to be deploying 10 services, right? The carts, catalog, front end, order, payments, and the rest, right? And another important thing, right? You have the heading, which is very, very important. So let me just be writing the steps for you guys, right? So you have the heading, you have the headings, right? You also have the image, right? You need an image, right? You need a very attractive image, right? And your heading also, you need to generate, right? So you can use that using the link. The link is here. I'll be sharing this document to you guys. So the link is here, and after the heading, after the image, right, the next thing you want to look at, like I said here, is the starting message, right? The intro, right? The intro to your blog, right? And depending on the kind of writer you are, right, you can change this however you want, right? For instance, look at this, right? Welcome to part 3 of the Kubernetes for Developer series, right? This week, we will finally dive into Kubernetes concept, starting with the very basics, right? So here he has his writing here. This is a fundamental writer, right? So he's trying to give you the whole fact about Kubernetes and what Kubernetes can do and all those kind of things, right? As you can see here, right? And at the end, it says, okay, without further ado, let's dive in. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there are basically different ways you can introduce yourself, right? So for a technical, let's say for a technical writer, you can make your intro short and straight to the point, right? And for a fundamental, right, you can make your intro, right? You can basically make it broad. I get what I'm saying. I get what I'm saying. So it just depends, right? So the intro, for me, it's something straight to the point because anybody that sees this is coming here to know how to deploy the Sockshop application, right? And anybody that sees this, Kubernetes 101, right? This 101 is basically like a kind of guide, right? It's used for guide. So it's basically saying Kubernetes guide, pod and controller. Anybody that comes here is coming to learn what a pod is or what a controller is, or the deep the in-depth of pod and controllers, right? And anybody that is going to read this will automatically know that okay, this person is just giving like an intro, right? Explaining these things. I get what I'm saying. And after that, if you are a technical writer, like I said, you need to give a prerequisite, right? To tell the person that is reading this, okay, this is what you need before you can start working on this or you can start reading this blog. I get what I'm saying. For instance, I said, okay, the prerequisite here is a cluster running, an Ubuntu machine, Terraform installed, Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, the prerequisite, right? You need to tell them what they are going to be expecting, what they will need to have before they can start working or start reading this book, right? And for instance, I said a cluster running, an Ubuntu machine, right? A Terraform installed, kubectl installed, AWS CLI installed, right? These are the tools they are going to need, right, for everything to work out. Are you getting what I'm saying? But if you're a fundamental writer, you don't really need to write any prerequisites, right? You can just, because you're basically explaining a particular concept, right? So you can just dive in, right? Like what this guy did here, pod and node, right? He said a pod, explain what a pod is, and he explained what a node is, right? And he also used like a diagram to give you like an imaginative um idea of what a pod and a node is. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you don't basically need to write any prerequisites, right? But if you're a technical writer and you are trying to write a solution to a particular kind of project that has been given, or a particular kind of task that you have carried out, right? You will need to write a prerequisite, right? What the person is going to need, right? And also, if you have written on how to do all this, right? If you have written on how to create all this, you can just add links to where they can see how to get it done, right? So, for instance, to get the script and how to use it, right? So, basically, what I did here is now you can go about the internet to find ways to install all these tools, right? Or you can just run a script I wrote that helps you install all these tools on your machine. To get the script and how to use it, then click here. I've basically written a script, right, and a blog, right, on how to install all this, right, all these prerequisites, whatever. So it now makes it easier for the person reading this to be able to follow what I'm doing. I get what I'm saying? Because now there's a script here, right? And also you can also spin up a machine on DigitalOcean, right, which is right here, or any cloud provider of your choice, right? There is a blog on how to do that here. So there's also another blog written on how to spin up a DigitalOcean machine, right? And it is available right here, right? And also, if you have all this, then let's begin, right? So that's how I ended this part. So you need to create like a prerequisite, which is also another part, which is very, very important. You need to have a prerequisite. And after the prerequisites, you dive right into whatever it is you are trying to teach them, right? For instance, in my own way, what I do is I basically tell them what each file does. I get what I'm saying. So, for instance, this is the provider.tf file, right? When you guys get to Terraform, you basically know what or get a better understanding of what the provider.tf file is, right? So, this is what is inside that file. I get what I'm saying. This is the provider.tf file, and this is basically what's inside the file, right? And I just gave a very short explanation of this file, right? In this section, we're going to create provider files for the social microservice. Are you getting what I'm saying? And I explained what basically everything here is, right? I explained everything here that is in the file, what everything does. Are you getting what I'm saying? And so on. You can just basically do that for all the files you have written, all the files that will take them to completing the whole idea of the blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? So, like I mentioned here, we're going to be deploying 10 services, right? And these 10 services have their own particular file. So the files is what I'm explaining. Right now, I've gone to the cat section, right? And we have the cat part, right, which is very, very long, right? And at the end, I just showed the short note. The cat application is going to be running on port 80, and it also has its own database, which is a MongoDB, right? So let's basically just look at another let's look at another example. Let's look at another example. For instance, let's look at something very, very simple. Right, let's look at the fastest way to install. Let's check this out. Right, so now you can also do something like this, a goal, right? What's the main goal of this blog? What's the main purpose of the blog, right? How to run one script that saves you time, right? That's the main goal of the whole blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? So for instance, if you do your whatever technical thing you are writing, right, does not need any prerequisite, right? So, for instance, here we're teaching them the fastest way to install Terraform, Helm, Jenkins, AWS CLI, and QCTL. I get what I'm saying. And you try to install this, I don't think you need any other thing installed, right? So you can just put like a goal there if whatever you're writing does not have like a prerequisite. I get what I'm saying. So, for instance, you can also use this also for those of you that have been writing in the fundamental space, right? You can also write a goal here, right? This person could also write a goal, right? What's the goal of this blog, right? To give you a better understanding of Kubernetes pods and controllers. Are you getting what I'm saying? So let's come back to this, right? And now you can see a very detailed explanation, right? And you can also see I later added a prerequisite here. You must have an Ubuntu machine, right? That's all we are going to be working with, right? You must have an Ubuntu machine. Are you getting what I'm saying? And now we have the script, right? We have the script, and you can now see the script below. And after the script, I show them a step-by-step way on how they can run this script, right? A step-by-step guide on how they can run this, and I also show them the output of the script, right? So let's now look at another example. Let's look at another example, right? Let's check this out. So, for instance, this one is saying creating an IAM user with an access key and a secret access key for Terraform access, right? And here we have goals here, right? Install Terraform, create an IAM user on AWS, right? Create an access key and a secret access key, right? Add access key to AWS CLI, right? And here's the intro. Hey, welcome to this blog. In this blog, I'm going to show you how to set up an environment that is comfortable for Terraform to run, right? So first of all, I'm going to be teaching them step by step everything they will need, right? And here it says installing Terraform, right? How you can install Terraform on your machine. A very detailed explanation of how you can do that. So if you are writing anything, you need to give a very detailed explanation. You need to show them exactly how they should do it step by step, which is another important thing, right? And as you can see here, these are the commands they're going to be writing out, right? I'm going to be teaching you how you can also write headings like this, right? How you can insert images, how you can write things like this, right? And yeah, so after that, I'm also teaching them, I'm basically writing commands that they will need to input on their own end. Are you getting what I'm saying? With the helpful images, right? So this is basically another image, right, on creating an AWS IAM user, right? And all these images are being screenshotted. So basically, I'll also be explaining this too when we go to the writing section, right? And that's basically it, right? That's basically it. And at the end of the blog, right? With that said, you're good to go, right? No anything complicated, right? And you can also write your resources here, right? Which gives them access to other of your blogs, right? So for instance, here, this is one of the blogs I've written, how to create a load balancer instance and a hosted domain name in Route 53 using Terraform, right? So the person can still come down here and see some other helpful resources, right? That they can be interested in after reading your blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? And you can also create a call to action, which is very, very important, right? Note, if you have any questions or want to add to this blog, you can message me through email. I reply faster to people that are subscribed to my newsletter, right? And there's a conclusion, right? If you love this blog post, give it a like, comment, and don't forget to click on the follow button, which I inserted the follow button here, right? And if you would love to get an update on the two interesting blogs I'll be posting this week, then you should sign up for my newsletter right here, right? And this is the newsletter. You need to give them a call to action. I get what I'm saying. There needs to be a call to action to whatever it is you are doing, right? You need to tell them what to do. Okay, so after reading this blog, I want you to like it and subscribe it, right? Subscribe to it, right? And I also want you to share it to other people. You can put it down here, just like the example I'm giving here. I get what I'm saying. And this is the follow button, right? You can also get your own follow button by clicking on the followers, clicking on this, right? You'll be able to get your follow button, right? And also, when you sign up for Medium, you also have access to your newsletter button. As it says here, you cannot subscribe to yourself, right? So that's basically how to do it. And now we're going to be looking at a structure you need to be following, right? A very important structure. For instance, looking at this person's blog post, right? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? It's too bulky. I get what I'm saying. It's too together. It's too if someone's reading this, it's going to be very tiring to the person's eye. I get what I'm saying. Because look at this alone, right? How many lines is this? Right? It's just the person is just packing a lot of things together. Are you getting what I'm saying? And that's what we want to avoid. Are you getting what I'm saying? We want to avoid that. Looking at this blog now, you can see the amount of spacing I'm leaving in it, right? This creates urge in the person to read the next line, right? It's also a marketing technique, right? For copywriters use it. I get what I'm saying. So if you are writing a blog, you need to write a sentence on the line. I get what I'm saying. Not that you pack 5 sentences together and put everything together like this, right? So you need to write a sentence on the line, leave space. Let there be a lot of space. There is a lot of space in your blog. It's not like as if you have like limited words you can write, right? Let there be space. Leave space when you're writing is another important thing because it will help your work look readable, right? Which is very important, and it will help it look interesting, which is another important thing, right? See the amount of space in this blog. Someone reading this blog will just want to just keep reading it, right? Without having any issues or getting bored. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's that about that. Let's now move into the writing section where I'm going to be teaching you how to create certain things. So first off, the first thing here is going to be your title, right? And what title do you want to create? Let's say we want to talk about how to write a blog, right? And basically this is our title. Another thing, how can we get our image, right? We can just basically come to Google here and write on blog, right? We type in blog, we go to images, right? And we can see a whole lot of content here, right? We can just basically copy the image, right? Come here and Control V. Okay, so we can also do it another way. We can just screenshot the image.
Damning allegations about the Trump business and leading to a gag order for Trump, the GOP has stepped in now to carry some of the ex-president's water as he flails. As Andrew mentioned in the earlier
Williams,
block,
can you please mute yourself?
Okay, so now as you can see, this image is kind of copyright, right? So you don't want to copy anything like that, right? So also be looking at the images. You don't want to copy anything that has copyright in it because if you use it on your blog, then some people are so crazy that they can sue you for it. So especially if in the future your blog is not doing very well, right? They can just find one thing and sue you for it. So you want to find something that doesn't have the copyright, right? So let's try to look for that. Okay, so it seems like this one doesn't have any copyright on it. So what you are basically going to do now is you're going to just click on your screen snip, right? So it helps you screenshot this image, right? And we can just take out this part that we need. And yes, we have our image already. So what we can do now is we can copy this. We can copy this and we can come here to post it. Ctrl V, and here we have our image, right? We have our image here, right? And after this, we can now start writing our story, right? How to write a blog. I get what I'm saying. Another thing I'm going to be teaching you is how to write headings, right? How do you write headings, right? So if I want to write a heading, I can just basically come here and say steps to write a blog, right? I can come here, type in steps to write a blog. If I want to get something like this, right, a heading like this, I can just come here, type in steps to write a blog, highlight it, right, and give it this big T that is here, right? It automatically turns to that, right? I can give it the small T, it can still be bold, but it's just that to be smaller, right? So you can use this for like a heading 1 and heading 2 kind of thing, right? So let's just do something like this, steps to write a blog. And let's now look at number 1, heading, right? So this, in this kind of space, is where you will need this heading 2, right? This smaller one, that's where this kind of case is where you need it. So the heading, right? So with that, we can now, what else are we going to look at, right? How you can insert a command space, right? How can you insert a command space, right? For instance, how can you insert a command space? So something like this, how can you insert this? I get what I'm saying. Let's say you want to write all these commands now, right? So that the people that are viewing this can take this command and run it, right? So we can just come here, click on this, right? And we can click on add a new code block, right? That is basically this one with curly braces, right? Click on this and we can just paste whatever we have. I get what I'm saying. So this is this. Everything is going to be here, right? All your command is going to be here, right? Also, we can also do something similar, right? By adding an embedded link here, which I'll also be explaining. If you want to get an output like this, right? If you want to get an output like this, right? That's a whole file from GitHub, right? If you want to get an output like this, I'm going to be explaining also how you can get that. And if you want to insert a YouTube video inside your blog, right, you can also do that here by pasting the video link here, right? So let's try it out. Let's go to YouTube. And let's basically copy link address of this video and come back here and let's paste this here and enter. And you can see the YouTube video present here. I get what I'm saying. So that's how you can embed YouTube videos, YouTube links, all this kind of thing, right? Now let's now go to creating a gist on GitHub. So what you do is you go to GitHub, And when you go to GitHub, what you want to do now here is you want to click on this plus sign, scroll down, and you create a new gist, right? You create a new gist. And here is where you can now write all your files. Are you getting what I'm saying? You can write maybe something in a particular file. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the name of this file, like when we created the bash scripting file, right? We named the file master and slave, master slave, right? Where we have our master and slave .sh, right? And here is where we pasted the master and slave, is where we have where we're going to basically be pasting the master and slave command, right? But since we don't have that right now, let's just improvise and paste something else, right? So let's say this is the master and slave command. We're going to be copying this from either our VS Code or from the file itself, and we're going to be coming here to paste this here, right? So we can just do paste, and basically everything is here now, right? And we can now, okay, seems like this is a new feature. Okay, so you can create multiple gists now, right? You can basically create multiple gists, right? You can add a new file here and also create two files at the same time. But that's not what we want to do. We want to now create secret gist, right? So before you now click on this create secret gist, you need to come down here and make the gist public so that every other person can have access to it, right? So you click on create public gist and click on create public gist. Okay, so now this is basically the gist, and what we want to do now is we want to copy it, right? We want to share it, right? So we're going to be copying this shared option, right? This is a copy button. Copy it, come back here and click on this, and then click on add embedded, right? So we're going to be clicking on this also, and we're going to be pasting the link here. And when we paste the link, we click on enter, and you can see all our file here, and you can see the name of the file, which is master-slave.sh, right, by GitHub, right? And now if you now decide that okay, we want there to be like a, if we now decide that okay, we want there to be like a space between this file and the next file and the next word we're going to be creating, we can do something like this using this new part, right? We can add a new part and it will look something like this. Okay, it will look something like this, right? If you want to divide the first part from the second part, you can use that particular option, right? And whatever I write here, right, is going to be separate, right, from this other block, from this other side of the block, right? So that's just basically that. Let's see if there's any other thing we haven't covered.
Master.
Yeah,
Okay, you on the steps how to write a blog. You mentioned on the headings when we copy the image from Google.
yeah.
What's the command we use? Is it Control
Control,
V?
yeah, Control V to paste. Or you can
Okay.
just click on your right click on it and you see a paste option there. And yeah, so this is basically everything we're going to be looking at for now, right? This is the most important part that I will tell you so you can get, because I can't basically teach you how you should write your own kind of blog. I get what I'm saying. So it's basically more of experience. The more you write, the more you figure out how you want to start writing. I get what I'm saying. What I've just taught you today is the most important things you should look out for while writing, right? So whatever how you want to write is up to you, either a technical writer or fundamental writer, it's all up to you, right? You can take your own part, you can take your own way and do it in your own way, right?
Okay.
But this
Another
important,
another question.
yeah,
Is it advisable to, like, now we are already building a career now in tech, and
Yeah.
then one can also write about tech, and then also write maybe about current job scope, maybe what you do now. It kind of is advisable.
Um, Not really, but some people do it. I get what I'm saying. Some people do it. For instance, let me show you someone. Okay. So this person, right? She writes about tech and also writes about devices too, right? For instance, iPhone 15 Pro Max review, right? After 1 month, right? But although it's not something that anyone will advise you to do, because if you see, she published for different medium platforms, right? So if you can see here, you see published in aimonks.io, right? You can see this one is published in Dev Genius. Are you getting what I'm saying? So whatever she writes, everything reflects on her homepage. Are you getting me? So if you are just starting out, it will be very advisable that you focus on just one thing. Are you getting what I'm saying? If it's tech cloud engineering, focus on just cloud engineering, right?
It's okay.
Yeah. So that's that about that. And now you need to now move into how you can publish your blog, right? How do you publish it? So up here you see the publish button. Click on the publish button. You can decide to change your pre image. That's the image you use. You can decide to change it. And here is your heading, and here is um your your preview subtitle, right? So you can write whatever you want to write here. So learn how to write a blog, right, in a very simple format, right? You can write whatever preview you want to write here. And your heading also, this is where it's going to be. So while you are going to be publishing this, you can either publish it now or schedule for later, right? So if you want to publish on this particular day, so you can just schedule it for that day, right? And if you want the link or your blog to be sent to everybody that is subscribed to your email, then you can tick on this right here, right? You can click on this right here. But I don't want that to happen. So let's now focus on the topics, right? You will need to add some specific topics so that your blog can be able to be viewed by people in that particular topics. Are you getting what I'm saying? Right? So you need to add some specific tags, right? So that it can have more views by people in that particular space. Right? So look at the whatever we wrote about, right? How to write a blog. So what should come to your mind is writing, right? So let's just search writing. Okay. Okay, seeing that there's no topic on writing, let's see copy. Okay, so there is also no topic on copywriting. Let's see AWS. Okay, so it says add or change topics up to 5 so readers know what your story is about, right? So previously they give you certain options, right? When you are trying to write, when you are trying to select certain topics, but it seems like they've removed the options, right? So if you are writing a topic based on anything related to AWS, right? You basically be writing AWS here, right? You'll be writing things like maybe GCP. Exactly, this is the option they give you, right? So let's cancel this again and try it again. So if you're writing based on AWS, you can get options based on AWS depending on what you're writing about. So if you're writing about AWS certifications, you can click this, right? And you can also click AWS as a whole, right? Or basically what I wrote about is about writing. Let's see if they will give us an option. Okay, so this is an option for writing, right? And this is an option for writing tips, right? We can click these two. I get what I'm saying. And we can also search for copywriting, right? And we can select copywriting also. But basically, this is not our topics we're looking at because of we're focusing on the heading of whatever we're writing. So let's say we wrote a blog on AWS or a blog on Ansible, for instance, right? How to achieve Laravel, how to deploy Laravel using Ansible. So basically, what would we write there, right? We will basically use things like Ansible, right? Keywords like Ansible, right? We'll use keywords like Laravel, right? This is Laravel. We'll use keywords like LAMP stack, right? We'll use keywords like LAMP stack. We'll also use keywords like master, right? We can use keywords like VM. Let's say Ubuntu, right? Right, you can use keywords like Ubuntu. I get what I'm saying. And lastly, we can use a keyword like Linux, right? And as you can see, all these topics I'm picking, you can see they have like a very use the ones with that have higher numbers, right? For instance, this one has 41,000. The number is 41,000. So you want to pick numbers like that because that basically just seems like they are up to that amount of number, right? Or people in that particular space. So we want to choose the topics with higher numbers, and you can only choose 5 topics, right? And we are already up to 5 here, so we can't choose anymore, right? And after creating that, the next thing you can do is now publish now, right? You can publish your blog right now, right? And it's publishing story. Okay. So let me go to my page and check it out. Okay, seems like there is an issue with internet connection. Okay, so right here you can see the blog, right? How to write the blog. I get what I'm saying. And it's basically because I pinned all this. That's why this didn't come above this, right? So this is the blog here, right? And if we open this, you can see our image, our heading, right? You can see the heading 1 and you can see the second heading, right? You can also see the embedded text right here, right? That you basically need for to write commands and other things like that. You can see our GitHub gist that we created, right? And At the bottom here, you can also see the topics we created, the topics we added: Ansible, Laravel, LAMP stack, Ubuntu, and Linux. Are you getting what I'm saying? So now, if you do not like a particular story, right, and you want to destroy it, you can just come to the bottom here, click on these three dots, and you can click on delete story. Also, if you want to pin this story to your profile, you can also see the option to pin it here, and you can also see another option to edit it here, right? So let me delete this. And now show me your story is published. I can share the story on my Twitter page, on my LinkedIn, right? Which is something you want to do, right? If you write a story, any story you write, always share it on your Twitter and your LinkedIn, right? And while you are sharing it, write a very detailed explanation of what the story is saying. Are you getting what I'm saying? Write a very detailed explanation of what or whoever is going to open that story, what they are going to find in there. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that's also very important. And coming back to my profile, as you can see, it has been deleted and it's no longer here. So for now, that's basically all you need to know about blogging, right? This is just the most important tips you should know about blogging. Every other thing, you figure it out on your own. Are you getting what I'm saying? Every other thing, there's nobody that can teach you basically anything above what you are supposed to do by yourself, right? It becomes easier when you start writing. And when you start writing, you also begin to understand certain things, right? Yeah, I'll answer questions very soon, right? You begin to understand certain things about blogging, right? You begin to become more comfortable, right, while writing. Are you getting what I'm saying? And sometimes some people also do this, right? While you're writing, it's not every time you just be serious, dead serious, right? Sometimes you just need to put in some kind of funny ways you say certain things to make it sound fun, to make it sound a little bit fun, right? Because it's not every time you need to just be dead serious and you're always going straight to the point, although it's good, but also you need to bring your kind of person, your personality on your blog, wherever you write. Are you getting what I'm saying? So every blog is different, right? But what I would advise most of you to do is before you start writing, go to my blog page, right? Go to my blog page, follow my blog page. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that you can get more ideas of how to write blogs. And after following and subscribing, right? What I would advise is to open a blog. Are you getting what I'm saying? And read the blog step by step. Are you getting what I'm saying? See if the kind of the way I'm writing, the kind of words I'm using, right? Read it step by step. The moment you start reading people's blogs step by step is how you get to really understand how to write. Are you getting what I'm saying? So you need to read it step by step. And that's also another thing that can help you. But with all that said, everything that I've explained here will basically help you write blogs. And some people might be saying, oh, this video is not too detailed enough. I get what I'm saying. But honestly, there is no more detailed way it can be. The most important thing is just for you to just start. Are you getting me? Start. When you start, send your blog to the group, right? Everybody can look at it and tell you where you need to make some changes, right? Because that's the most important thing. Are you getting what I'm saying? Even till today, when I write blogs, I still send it to certain people that, hey, what's up? Help me check out this blog. Does it make sense? I get what I'm saying, because sometimes some things might look good in your mind, but to another person, it might just seem as this doesn't really make any sense. I get what I'm saying. So, with that said, you guys can ask your question now.
Yeah, good evening, mentor.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you for the eye opener. I want to just, as you were teaching us this blogging of a thing, I'm thinking if we are given assignment and we wrote readme.md file, is it possible for us to just transfer it into Medium as our own blog? Because I feel it looks like almost the same thing. Then do few editing, add pictures to wherever we want to add.
Yeah, you can do that, but a readme.md file has one particular purpose. I get what I'm saying. And that purpose is just to explain what a particular repository is doing, right? Or what a particular set of files, directory is doing, right? A blog is kind of different, right? Because now you're trying to bring your kind of personality, you're trying to bring your knowledge, what you know, right, into a particular place. I get what I'm saying. But you can also take your readme.md file, right? Paste it on your blog and make certain changes. There are going to be a lot of changes you are supposed to make, right? You can make certain changes, then you can now publish it, right? That can also work, right? Get what I'm saying? So anyone you do,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. So I'm going to be sharing this article generator, right? I'm guessing it's having some issues right now, but you guys should try it out. And with time, I will basically look for another heading where you can generate um very attractive heading for your blog, right? So with that said, is there any other question? I'm going to be sending the recording to the group. So okay, so if there's no other question, then yeah, this is going to be the end of this class. But also remember that most times, 99% of the times, you guys are going to be basically, you are going to be in the technical part of writing, because now you are going to be writing almost everything else could give you as an assignment, because that's how it will help you build your blogging experience, right? Everything else could give you as an assignment, you put it down. If you now want to say, okay, you want to explore on your own, right? You want to go out there and write certain things about certain topics, right? Like being a fundamental writer, then sure, there's no problem, you can do that, right? But for now, the technical part is what you should focus on, because that's where you are giving access to more content, right? You have more things to write about. So with that said, that should be all. If you have any questions, you can just send it to the group. Yeah, good night.